Blessings. What's up, YouTube family, friends, fellow music lovers? Let me start my timer that way I don't go over this time. Okay, so unlike the other video, we're going to do this in 20 minutes. Okay, so we're talking about this movie I saw a few weeks ago, and I saw it. You need to see it if you want to know about big bullshit, what's going on relating to our country and whatnot. Okay, so it's called My Dinner with Andre. This movie's called My Dinner with Andre. It's from 1981. A lot of meaning, mostly just talk. Okay, whoever shot that video has a lot to share. Certain things I like to share, but I don't say. Certain things I say I can't say for the sake of keeping my channel, keeping me out of trouble and whatnot. Anyways, I have some media recorded that I'm going to share with you. Let's start. This comment was made by somebody who kind of detract on talking negative. Don't ever listen to the negative. This article here, let's read it. It'll explain somebody's point of view. It says, this movie is humble enough to point out that we can't possibly articulate what we are actually feeling, where language falls short, and in fact most of our talk is just empty talk, i.e. empty celebrity gossip talk. We don't actually feel we don't talk about how we feel anymore. We all wear a mask, we're all concealed our true self from the world. Quite literally, where conversation doesn't touch any depth or it doesn't form any deep bond or connection. Okay, now my point of view is, if you think like this, what scale is this dude talking about? His community, his region, his country, his world? It sounds like just your basic person from my country, US, speaking about how the emptiness they sense around them they're talking about. I don't agree with anything he said. Let's go to the first thing. It is possible, yes, that as people we can articulate what we truly are feeling. It's just that people have lost touch with themselves. Living in this man-made human civilization, man's creation, we lost touch with our feelings, and that's without a doubt. People have been focusing their minds on the day-to-day grind, their distractions. There's a robotic pattern that we live in. It's work, take up all your time, come home and sleep. It's the same thing over and over. All this is set up by capitalism. It's all rolled into one system. So no, we are able to articulate what we are actually feeling. It's just people don't know how to do it. Generations have gone by where we've separated from God's actual creation. We separated from the energy of the universe, the earth, what we really need. We don't need to be dependent on this system. Off-gridders, look at them. We need earth. That's what we are truly dependent on. But we're blinded. There's a game of distraction. Okay? What happens when you're distraction? When you're distracted, you have mistakes. You wreck. Costs you your life. So, the article, all these things that I just read about the paragraph, that's the end goal. We can steer away from this. The more hope that we have in people and in ourselves, and we'd have less agony of this depressing, article this person publishes, this negative stuff. Attitudes are contagious. He says that most of our talk is empty talk. Yeah, look at how we're all spending your time. Look at what we're doing. Look at the information you're gathering. He's complaining about empty talk and conversations. What are you doing? You're so busy worrying about NFL, football, baseball, Oprah, Ricky Lake, Jerry Springer, MTV News, Do these things actually pertain to you? Does your fashion magazine directly pertain to you? Are you pertaining to it? Are you latching upon it? Is it a safety blanket? Are you anchored to these things, these distractions, because you don't want to deal with your pain or confusion? Are you like an empty shell because you're taking in all this emptiness? Because you think your conversations are all empty. You're talking about these materialistic things. There's a lot more things that matter than that materialistic things. Do you want to put your time into gossiping or comparing yourself to somebody else on Twitter at their party mansion and wardrobes that cost thousands? And nobody talks about how they feel anymore. And it all ties into the grind. Working it day in, day out. Too distracted to feel yourself. When you're working, you don't have time to contemplate what your true feelings are, your inner feelings at that time. You need a clear head. You need to meditate. You need to meditate to know exactly what you really feel. You call it stillness. And meditation will help out that. Or will help that out. Let's go to the next one. He's complaining about how we're all wearing a mask and we're all concealing ourselves from the true world. I've heard a lot of people say that on YouTube. Particularly saying this thing, how they're so upset, how they're wearing masks. To me, really, I don't really care. I could wear a Halloween mask every day and a black hoodie, cover my skin entirely. You can wear a COVID mask. People get upset about it. If somebody's concealed from the world how you're talking about, what difference does it matter to you if somebody's wearing a surgical mask to protect themselves from the contagiousness of flu and viruses? How should that pertain to you? How does that directly tie to you? Why does that jump out to you that you have to complain, put more negative energy into the world about something? Some people will go on certain sites like this movie, Dinner with Andre. Everywhere you look, flat earthers, naysayers, we've never been to the moon, complainers that this and that, don't ever play into them. It's not a big deal. Your life should not be impacted at all how that person dresses or looks, what wardrobe they have, what masks or lack of masks. So what? So get off of that. Get off of it. It's none of your business. People are walking about their lives shopping. That should not pertain, you shouldn't care about how they're looked or dressed. It doesn't pertain to you in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't affect their lives in any way. People are free to do what they want. You can't tell people that they shouldn't or should do this or that. You can't be set in your ways that you have a preference of how somebody should dress or look. That's some garbage. Get that baloney out of here. It's a load of baloney. The last one, he says our conversation does not form any deep bond or have any connection, no meaningness. Okay, I'll check that out. That's cool. That just tells me that your little community or whoever groups you're hanging out with doesn't really speak on any true meaning that forms a deep creation or deep bond. How you feel and act has a lot to do with who you're around. This just tells me that he doesn't really speak his mind too much. He's a quiet guy. He's kind of bothered about masks. He's confused. He can't really fathom up his own thoughts and how his feelings connect to them. He feels like his language is falling short. His conversations, people don't understand him. The conversations that he does engage in are sports related, ESPN, all this pro sports, MLB, FIFA, soccer. Pointless, to me, things. I cut the cable. I don't care. I realized and opened my eyes years ago that this distraction is part of the game. Don't be distracted. Don't fall short. Don't be distracted and kill yourself or somebody or get injured. Don't do it. So your conversations, here comes the wind. Don't talk about your celebrities. Tell my fiance, don't look at movie stars. Don't read about them. You're wasting your time. Your point of view, this guy's point of view, I don't agree with anything. Our conversations really can have a deep bond. It's just, who are you talking to? What's the level of intelligence of the people you're speaking with? Are you talking to people who actually know anything? Or are you talking to 50, 40, 60-year-old kids? Once you have self-confidence and you can speak about what you feel and think, you got a real kind. You can speak how you're not ashamed. It'd be better. Some people are conservative. They don't really speak their mind. I think people should speak their mind. I was never conservative. But what I find is that people who have some kind of spirituality, discipline, or practice, if you believe in trust or believe in some kind of spiritual practice, if you know that we're more than what you see, this flesh or blood, some kind of religion or prayer or meditation, so many different things, sacrament, Buddhism, those people are able to hold spiritual, meaningful conversations, something that really matters to somebody. When you speak to somebody and it means something, a few days later, 2 weeks later, a month later, they're going to remember it and think, oh, hell yeah, I remember what that person said in that conversation. And it's like, yeah, that's meaningful. It's something that stays in your head. You might even hear a conversation or a podcast that sticks in your head. And when something's meaningful or not. Look at the topic, review it. What's the material? And if anything that benefits somebody truly is a meaningful conversation. It's a meaningful connection. It's time well served. It's a purpose that's made its point. Now, if that person senses that there's a loss of deep bond or connection, if he wants to change that, I would guess that he would like to change and have some better conversations because he's putting this point out. He's pointing it out. Then he should be the one who speaks up. Be the one who stands up in the crowd or amongst everybody who's sitting amongst the bleachers. We're all instilled in us with a higher power, a higher conscience. We all have a purpose. Go out and get it. You be the one. Get it in your mind. Get the opportunity and engage in that meaningful conversation. Okay? I know that there's people out there who their job is to just only put negative things and all this propaganda. Don't even be around negativity. Progress, make your progress. Don't ever back away from something that needs to be changed. Voice it. Speak your ideas that need to be changed. We each have a purpose in life. Whether we wear masks does not hold us back from our purpose. In his words, whether we are concealed from the world, literally or not, is not going to hold us back from our purpose in life. It's a discrimination based on, it's profiling, based on their perception. Some people have it in them to make a YouTube channel. Some people have it in them to make people laugh. Some people have it in them to sing and make music. Or just to make it and push themselves every day. Some people have it in them to write. Listen to your heart. The answers are all inside you. We can distinguish what our true feelings are. Hey, I'm at 1541. I want to share this one here. Definition of steadfast, adjective, fixed in direction, steadily directed. Don't let negativity sway you. Don't let it deter you. Don't let it route you a different way. Okay, let me get to part 2 of shit. I'm not going to be able to, excuse my language, probably get all this video. Let's fast forward. Some people say that we're just going around all day like unconscious machines, and meanwhile there's all this rage and worry and uneasiness just building up and building up inside of us. That's right, okay? Somebody else says, and then it just leaps out unappropriately. This is true. It lashes out. It is another comment that they made about Dinner with Andre. I saw a YouTube short on it, and in it, after a few sentences, literally, it drew in my attention. And I immediately started looking it up and trying to find where I could watch it, and I did. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. Search it. They talk about some big boy shit. Okay? Look at the expressions of people's faces in your community. You cannot hide body language. Look at how people look as they're driving around. It tells everything. Look at it. You don't need to explain anything about it. You just, what they're experiencing, you know what their feelings are. Truly. It's hard to be angry and not show it on your face. People go 50 and a 40. They're going 40 and a 30. 80 and a 70. People are so impatient. People are so uncaring. You know? There's some things, like I said, I want to say, but I can't really say. These are the outcome of what we're living in. We're being driven to be dependent on this. The only outcome of this is slow but assured destruction. That's the surest outcome of this game we play, this grind. If you don't have any, if your eyes aren't open, if you don't perceive it on the kind of level of a genius kind of perspective, of a grand illusion of a, you know, attitudes are contagious. Look at the way they pack us in like sardines in downtown center. If they can make more money within a single square mile by stacking 1,000 people upward, let's do it, because it's for profit. Anyway, another person states, I got, my time's up, guys. Don't walk in a fog. I have to end it now. Okay. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, guys. Don't forget, I got more material coming up. Hit that like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you're aware of it.